People all over the world have been moved by Goodman's performances. Behind the bright lights, he had to deal with tough problems in his personal life, including addiction, sadness, and health that was getting worse and worse. How did Goodman change his life? Who was there for him when things were worst? What motivated him to change the course of his life, taking him from the lowest point of hopelessness to the highest point of fame? Come with us as we look at John Goodman's journey of rebirth, which shows how powerful love, drive, and never giving up can be. Childhood: his family was from a working-class background, and he was born on June 20th, 1952, in Afton, Missouri. When Goodman was only 2 years old, his mail worker father, Leslie Francis Goodman, died of a heart attack. The family felt a big hole after this loss, causing Virginia, his mother, to work more than one job to support her 3 kids. She sold things in stores, worked as a waitress at a diner, and even did laundry at home to make ends meet. Goodman had a hard childhood because he didn't have a father role. He had an older brother named Leslie who was 14 years older than him. Leslie moved away to college, leaving Goodman and his younger sister Elizabeth, who was born 6 months after their father died, to care for themselves. Goodman was overweight and shy, so his friends often made fun of him, which left him with lasting mental scars. Goodman was able to find comfort in the Boy Scouts. Those years taught him the importance of discipline and friendship, which made his life more organized and stable. In his spare time, he read comic books, listened to bebop music, and watched comedies, all of which were things that his brother had taught him to enjoy. These little things made him happy and helped him deal with the stress and loneliness of his childhood. Goodman stood out on the sports field at Afton High School, but a bad injury stopped his hopes of becoming a professional athlete, so he had to find another way to make a living. That's when he realized he loved acting, which was the start of a choice that would change his life forever. The hard times Goodman went through as a child were more than just problems, but the building blocks of his strength, which prepared him for the bigger problems that lay ahead. Early in your work. In 1975, John Goodman got his Bachelor of Fine Arts from Missouri State University and then went to New York to follow his dream of becoming an actor. He got a small loan from his brother and moved into a small apartment in Hell's Kitchen, an area close to Broadway. Hell's Kitchen was known for having a lively but difficult atmosphere, with high rent prices and a fast-paced way of life. As a young man from Missouri, Goodman felt alone and had to worry about money as soon as he got to the big city. He worked different jobs like serving tables, bartending, and doing odd jobs to pay his rent and other costs of living. Goodman spent his days trying out for roles everywhere he could, but most of the roles he got were small ones in ads or off-Broadway shows. Even though he kept getting turned down, he never gave up on his trust in himself or his love of acting. His big break came from a Men in Skin bracer ad, which he didn't expect. As the title went, Goodman hid himself in the ad. His unique delivery and sense of humor made the commercial a hit, getting attention from both the public and people in the business. This success led to bigger auditions, which was the start of his career going in the right direction. But it was on stage where Goodman really showed off his skills. He was chosen to play Pap Finn in the Broadway show Big River. He played that part from 1985 to 1987. He was nominated for a Drama Desk Award for the performance, which also showed off his amazing playing skills. The praise from critics and audiences cemented his place in the arts world and set the stage for his future success. During those tough years, Goodman depended on both his skills and the support of close friends and family. One of the first things that drove him was his brother, pushing him to keep going even when things go wrong. His friends in New York, many of whom had been through similar problems, gave him support and helped him stay on the path he had chosen. John Goodman's long and successful career. John Goodman had a tough beginning to his career, but he went on to have a great one, leaving his mark on both small and large sets. One of the most important turning points in his trip was his part as Dan Connor in the popular series Roseanne, which began in 1988. People fell in love with Goodman right away as Dan Connor, a funny, devoted, and caring dad. The way he played the husband and father was so good that millions of people could relate to them, even though they weren't perfect. He won a Golden Globe for this part in 1993, and many nods for Emmys during the show's run. As a result of Roseanne, Goodman became one of the most popular TV stars in the United States. After Roseanne ended in 1997, Goodman played Dan Connor again in The Connors 2018, a show that was made after the controversial cancellation of the Roseanne reboot. His return not only showed how popular his character is, but it also proved that Goodman is a classically talented actor. Goodman was great at more than just TV. He showed how versatile he was in movies by working with the Coen brothers for a long time. His first appearance was in their 1987 movie Raising Arizona, where his unique comedic style made the part stand out. He then played the lead role in The Big Lebowski 1998. It was one of the most famous movies of the 1990s. In it, Goodman played Walter Sobchak, a strange and unpredictable figure who provided some of the most memorable laughs in the movie. Walter Sobchak was praised by critics as one of Goodman's most important parts, both for how funny it was and how much psychological depth he brought to the part. After this, he said, "A movie that mixes comedy and music, making him even more of one of the best players the Coen brothers have ever worked with." Along with his playing, Goodman's voice became a well-known symbol in the entertainment business. People of all ages will always remember his performance as James P. Sully Sullivan in Pixar's 2001 cartoon movie Monsters, Inc. Kikas. Sully, who is funny and nice, showed dedication and friendship. To bring Sully to life, Goodman spent more than 100 hours in the recording studio, saying some lines up to 50 times to get them just right. Goodman is known as one of the most popular voice actors in movies thanks to the hits Monsters, Inc. and its follow-up, Monsters University 2013. Goodman was also in 2 movies that won the Oscar for Best Picture in a row: The Artist 2011 and Argo 2012 in 2012. He played office worker Al Zimmer in The Artist, which added to the story of how movies went from being silent to talking pictures. The next year, he played John Chambers, a Hollywood makeup artist who helped with the operation, in Argo, a political movie about the mission to save the hostages in Iran. To get ready to play John Chambers, Goodman talked to the real-life character's family and friends a lot to learn more about his behavior and attitude. These movies not only showed how versatile he is as an actor, but they also solidified his place as an important part of great movies. On March 10, 2017, Goodman was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to honor his long and successful career. During his speech at the ceremony, Goodman showed his deepest thanks. "This would not have been possible without the help of my family, friends, and people who always believed in me." When Goodman's longtime co-star from The Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges, showed up as the dude to honor him, the event became even more memorable. Bridges said that Goodman was an unbeatable friend and praised his unwavering commitment to his work. Not only did this time show how influential Goodman is, it also showed how much his co-workers respect him. John Goodman has left behind a rich and moving body of work, from the sensitive Dan Connor in Roseanne to the strange Walter Sobchak in The Big Lebowski to the kind Sully in Monsters. His success comes from not only being very talented, but also from working hard and being able to keep reinventing himself. He became one of the most loved people in Hollywood. His story continues to motivate people today and in the future. Life in general. Like a lot of other movie stars, John Goodman had big problems in his personal life, even though he was very successful in his work. He seemed to have everything at the height of his fame, a successful job, and a family. But behind the screen's picture of the funny and friendly dad, a man who was having a quiet fight with himself. Luckily, Annabeth Hartzog's love and unwavering support became his center, helping him get through the worst times and build a happy, lasting family. People who knew Goodman well say that Annabeth was not only his wife, but also his best friend and most reliable partner. She always cheered him on and helped him through times when he felt like giving up. While making Everybody's All-American in 1987, John Goodman met Annabeth Hartzog for the first time at a Halloween party in New Orleans. Annabeth, who was a student at the University of New Orleans at the time, approached him, which led to a unique relationship. At first, Goodman felt insecure and worried about going out with Annabeth, but he finally saw that she really liked him. He later said that Annabeth was the one who made him. Goodman made the big choice to move to New Orleans to be closer to Annabeth, even though he was living in New York to focus on his work. This shows how much he cares about their relationship. In 1989, 2 years later, they got married in a small wedding. The next year, Their daughter Molly Evangeline was born. Goodman and Annabeth have been married for more than 30 years and have kept their family life low-key so that no one can see their private life. They say is the key to their long-term happiness in the unpredictable world of show business. Goodman has told his wife many times how much he appreciates her and how she saved his life. For Goodman, Annabeth has been the most important source of inspiration in his life, especially during the decades he has been sober. He used booze as a way to deal with stress at work and loneliness for many years. But things got out of hand when he missed a practice for the 2007 Emmy Awards because he was too drunk to go. Goodman thought back on that time and said, "That's when I knew I had hit rock bottom. I could no longer put up with this." Not only was Annabeth the first person to notice how bad Goodman's situation was, she also pushed for him to get help, even though he didn't want to. After what happened, Goodman called Annabeth to tell her how bad his problem was. She worked hard and waited for the right time to get him into a rehab center. This was the start of a hard but hopeful road to recovery. But Goodman had to deal with another big problem. His weight, which had gotten as high as 400 pounds, was horrible for his mental health and made his physical health worse. Because of his weight, he was depressed, which made him feel unsafe and tired. He said, "I just stuffed everything into my mouth because I thought that was the only way to feel better." Goodman thought about how food was both a comfort and a mental load for him during his worst times. Before 2007, John Goodman knew he had to make a change. He had been stuck for years in a loop of gaining weight and dieting that didn't work. A lot of people thought he was 400 pounds at his biggest, which was very bad for his health. But it also broke his heart. When Goodman realized this scary truth, she went to health coach Mackie Shilstone for help. Shilstone had worked with famous athletes like Serena Williams. Goodman started a life-changing journey with Shilstone's professional help, focused on long-term health rather than quick fixes.